Yo, what is up, Diamond family? It's your man Vivi, and welcome to the VBS Academy. As you guys know, I'm here every week dropping off gems, teaching you to record and make your music better. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Look, man, I got a really crazy video for you guys today. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best R&B vocal chain using stock plugins. That's right, man. You already have all of these plugins. You need to go buy anything else. You got Pro Tools, you got the new version, you got all these plugins already. I'm going to show you guys how to get an industry quality vocal using those plugins. All right, I'm not going to overtalk it, but if you're still struggling to get your vocals to sit inside the beat and balance themselves out perfectly every single time, you got to check out my free course down below. It's going to completely change the game for you and teach you my simple technique for balancing out the vocals and the beat perfectly every single time. It takes about 15 minutes and it's completely free, so check that out down below. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the track, man. I'm gonna play it back and we'll get into it.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault. I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe.
Cool, so I can tell first of all by the way he's saying this, it's not going to need a crazy amount of compression. You can even look at the waveforms. They're very kind of uniform. So we're not really going to focus our efforts there. We're going to focus our efforts on EQ and on effects. So let's go ahead. That doesn't mean we're not going to do any compression, but it does mean that the bulk of our focus is going to be on EQ and effects. So let's go ahead and grab the EQ7 right here, and let's go ahead and do something with these vocals.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault. I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all? Let me know if I'm too busy waiting. Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient.
So you can start to hear that kind of nasaliness coming up in the 371 range. That's where we want to be. It might be a little bit higher, but what we're going to do is bring it down or attenuate it, probably 3 dB or so, and then we're going to widen the Q. So if the frequency is above or below, so then we're going to widen the Q. So if the frequency is above or below, it'll still get captured. It'll still get turned down. So now let's listen to our vocal.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient. Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient. Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient.
And what you'll notice here, you got to really be listening. If you don't have on headphones or studio monitors, you'll probably miss it. But there's some heaviness in that frequency range, and when the vocal, if we take the EQ off, you can hear it. It kind of messes with your ears in the background of the track. You want to cut those things out, because as we get the song louder, as we get the vocal louder and more compressed, it's going to show even more. So we want to try to get those things cleaned up and taken care of. Let's see if there's any other issues or frequencies we should deal with in our EQ. Hang on.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault. Right through.
I also think that this Q is just a little bit wider than it should be. So let's try this.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault. I was lost with my mind on vacation.
I think there's something in that 1K range. I'm not sure. Let's turn so if you're unsure of whether you should cut a frequency or not, turn your gain down. You know, as you're doing your EQ sweep, turn your gain down. And if it still sticks out to you, it still bothers you, then you know you should cut it. Otherwise, if you turn the gain up, everything's going to sound like it needs to be cut. That's why you notice I try not to go like full on 18. I'll try to keep it around 8, 9, maybe 10. Because, again, if you go too loud, everything sounds like it needs to be cut.
Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient. Right through your thoughts, on my heart. If you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault. I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe.
Yeah, I think there's something up here in the 900 or so. So let's go ahead and bring that down just slightly, man. Maybe 2 dB or so. And remember to widen out your Q a little bit afterwards.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient.
Let's hear it bypassed.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient.
Cool. I like the way that sounds. It really cleaned up the vocal, kept it from being quite as heavy and muddy as it was. We don't want to cut out too much frequency because then we're left with a vocal that's thin and it doesn't sound natural. So we're going to stop there for now. Let's just grab some compression. Avid has these new plugins, and I like this Pro. Let me see if I can find it again. I like this Pro compressor right here. I use the standard stock compressor a lot in Pro Tools, but for this, let's just try this one out.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all? Let me know if I'm too busy waiting.
So I'm just trying to match the volume going out with the volume coming in. So that's why you'll see me bypass and go back and forth, because you don't want to trick yourself into thinking it sounds better just because it's louder.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
Cool, I like that. But you'll notice that as he gets to different notes, the EQ kind of changes. You get more of that low frequency that we don't really need as the notes change. And so for that, we're going to grab this multiband compression. That's also a stock plugin. And that's really going to help. Basically, when it hits specific frequencies that get built up only in certain places, it's going to control them at those times. So what I want to do is let's bypass everything except for this band right here and try to find that frequency.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
All right, bet. Let's go ahead and try to move around and find this frequency though.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
And so you'll notice that we're probably going to boost some of this frequency on the way back out, because the goal isn't really to turn that frequency down. It's just to control it so that it's not as dynamic. It doesn't move up and down as much. So we're still dialing it in. Let's see.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
All right, bet. Let's see if we can move up to any of these other frequencies and if they're necessary.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
Cool. So we're getting to some really good vibes now vocally, but I think what we really need is some effects. So let's go down here to our reverb bus and let's drag in some reverb. I'm going to use the deverb, which I would use anyway, even if we weren't just trying to use stock plugins. I like deverb a lot. So I'm going to bring that one in. Let's dial in a space for us. I like a plate reverb specifically for R&B vocals. So let's go with this plate. We might end up using 2 reverbs. We'll see.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient.
And so what I'm going to do is boost this gain so that it's at 0. And then we're going to adjust our send because we might need to send more of our signal here in order to get something. Let's see what we've got. All right. Let's boost this up super loud and then we'll bring it back.
Right through your thoughts, tell my heart if you wanna be patient.
All right, we're getting somewhere. Let's go ahead and get the pre-delay up so that we get a little bit of space between the vocal hitting and the reverb applying.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls, need to know.
And so I think what we really need on this reverb is a de-esser, because really the most attention we're getting from the de-esser is on our S's. And so we can't really make an accurate, depiction of what we're doing here because we're really only hearing it on our S's. So let's grab this de-esser really quick. I think we might have to grab the channel strip for this, but let me see. Oh.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls, need to know if it's just not a maybe.
And I think we should probably do the same thing on our lead vocal bus, so let's go ahead and copy this up here.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls, need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all, let me know.
And wow, really when we take it away, it really makes a big difference. So let's listen. I'm going to go ahead and bypass the reverb, then add it back in and show you guys what we did.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
And as you can hear, without the reverb, it sounds kind of dull, kind of dry, kind of dark. Let's bring the reverb back in and bring some life back to this track.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
Cool. So really the last thing I think we really need on this vocal is some kind of delay. Like we need some kind of echo to really fill in the spaces of this track and really give it that energy, give it that vibe it needs. So let's go ahead and grab our delay here. We'll go back to the Avid folder. There it is. All right, cool. Now, the first thing we want to do is set our notes. So this is going to be quarter notes. This will be a half note, a whole note, eighth note, 16th, that kind of thing. And let's go ahead and dial in some delay.
Right through the glass, I'm alright if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls, need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all?
And so what we could do is automate this, but I'm going to do it the cheater way, the easy way. So we're going to duplicate the channel that we're working on. Make sure that you don't check these three boxes right here. Boom, just like that. And so for the main channel, we're going to do 0 send on our delay. And for this one, we're going to boost it. Yes, we'll probably try 17, 18, something like that. And then the words that we actually want to delay, we're going to bring down. So watch this.
Patient. If you wanna be patient.
So I think we can probably make our delay a little bit slower. Let me grab this delay again and make sure that we are, we got it dialed in the way we want it to. So let me actually go ahead and, yeah, they're linked. We're already linked. We're good to go. What I want to do is 1, change our feedback, and 2, let's try to go with this half note instead.
If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault.
Yeah, I think it's better, but it's a little bit quiet, so let's go.
If you wanna be patient, cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation.
Cool, so let's go ahead and bring that next one in. So the thing is, we're probably going to do it for the end of every line.
On vacation, vacation. But I was lost with my mind mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe.
It's going to bring that maybe down, and we'll do the last one as well.
If I'm too busy
Waiting. All right, let's listen to this whole section now.
Right through the glass of my heart, if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all? Let me know if I'm too busy waiting. Cause I don't need niggas catching me slipping. About to go two-tone on these bitches. Holding me down, I'm trying to get lifted. Right through the glass of my heart, if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all? Let me know if I'm too busy waiting. Cause I don't.
Cool, I like the way that sounds. So the last thing we want to do is on the output or the send of this echo, we want to send it to our reverb bus. So we add some reverb to those echoes as well. So we're going to kind of exaggerate it. And I think we'll be pretty much there.
Right through the glass of my heart, if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe.
Yeah, man, as you can hear, this song went from just a rough kind of weak track to something that we could actually get ready to release. It's got that industry quality sound, and all we did was use stock plugins. So look, man, these are the tips that I'm giving you guys week in and week out. And if you need a little bit more help, drop me a line down below. My name is Vivi, and I'm here for you. Remember to stay humble, make diamonds only. Peace.
Right through the glass of my heart, if you wanna be patient. Cause it's not your fault, I was lost with my mind on vacation. What's the reason you're missing calls? Need to know if it's just not a maybe. Is this even worth it at all? Let me know if I'm too busy waiting. Cause I don't need niggas catching me slipping. About to go two-tone on these bitches.